Fly the Fairies, it's Snowflake, and in this video, I'll be explaining as many of Pixie Hall's fairy talents as I can. So a fairy's talent is their special ability and job. Many of the talents in this video are from the movies and books, but stay tuned till the end of this video because I'll add some funky talents which aren't even canon in the Disney Fairies franchise for the most part, so I guess I'll begin now. Art talents are responsible for the beauty of Pixie Hollow. They have the fortune of finding artistic inspiration from anything from the prettiest garden to the densest storm. They spend a lot of their time working in their studios. There are many varieties of art talents which include painting, stone carving, pottery, metalwork, glass blowing, and there are even crafting talents which include grass weaving, paper mache, and wood carving. So if you see a leaf painted in an elegant design, this may be the work of an art talent. The sewing talents are a type of crafting fairy. These fairies know just what any talent needs in their wardrobe. For example, raw talents would need extra pockets for leaf handkerchiefs, and tinker talents would want more durable clothing for their hard work. They don't just create the first wardrobes for the fairies, they can design and create looks for every occasion. Some sewing talents even run shops to showcase their looks. It's not uncommon for a sewing talent to have a pin in her mouth and try to talk with it. Dyeing talents are also artistic. They're experts of colors from buttercup yellow to mermaid green to boysenberry purple. They also know how to make dyes for all these colors out of berries and other materials. They can even give an outfit or furniture item a new color. Some dyeing talents even run dye shops. The jobs of the performing talents revolve around performing on stage, whether it's acting, music, or singing. Many music talents specialize in a certain type of instrument, while some sing or compose songs. However, there's one music fairy, Strad, who makes and repairs musical instruments rather than playing one. However, her creations are so good that many refer to her as the instrument master. The job of the performance is entertaining the fairies in the theater or during fairy dances. Performing talents tend to be very loud, outgoing, social, and they love being on stage because their talent is about performing in front of other fairies. Not all of them are like that though. There's one music talent named Trill who is shy and prefers to stay in the background. Storytelling talent is a type of performing talent, but it's more than that. These fairies are the keeper of Pixie Hollow's tales, and they're responsible for making sure they're remembered forever. Tales can range from history to legends to fiction and even jokes. Sometimes these fairies tell stories to just a small group of fairies, while other times they perform in the fairy tale theater. Storytellers tend to be very wise and social. The Dustkeeper fairies may not seem that important, but it may actually be the most important talent there is. Without them, fairies wouldn't have their magic. They work at the pixie dust depot, nurturing, maintaining, measuring, packaging, and distributing the fairy dust. While pixie dust makes some fairies sneeze, Dustkeepers do not sneeze from dust. They're very good at precise measuring as they need to treat every grain of dust as very precious, because every grain of dust is precious. Dustkeepers tend to have a stronger glow than average because of their work with the glowing dust. Some Dustkeepers are so fascinated by pixie dust that they study pixie dustology, and some are even alchemists. Dustkeepers are also early risers because they need to deliver the dust bright and early. Tinker talents fiddle, fix, craft, and create. In their perspective, there is nothing that can't be fixed. Nothing is useless for them. Though Fairy Mary thought the lost things were junk at first, even she uses them now. Some tinkers even invent things. Each tinker signs their work with his or her unique talent mark. Most tinkers live in Tinker's Nook. Though many fairies like pursuing hobbies outside of their talent, most tinkers are highly dedicated to their own work. They wear clothes made out of sturdy, durable leaves so they can stand the difficult work that they do. The kitchen talents obviously work in Pixie Owl's kitchen, preparing goods for the fairies to eat. Kitchen talent may have the most sub-talents. These include cooking, baking, tea making, and even the hole and cheese punching fairies. Some kitchen sub-talents do not include food even, and these types of kitchen talents include polishing, table setting, and serving. They always make sure that a meal is relaxing and tastes perfect. The cleaning talents are making sure that the home tree and other areas are perfectly clean. Some cleaners even clean fairies, such as the wing washing talents. Others clean fairy clothes. Cleaning talents may specialize in sweeping, dusting, laundry, or entryway polishing. Cleaners tend to work very quickly and they can be bossy. However, Ronan, one of the slowest sparrowmen in Pixie Hollow, is an exception to this. Cleaning talents don't like it when fairies make a mess. They may seem unhappy about it and may give you a lecture on how to be cleaner, but they're secretly happy because they have something else to clean. Harvest talent is a type of nature talent, but they don't travel to the mainland. These hardworking fairies are responsible for harvesting sugar, flour, wheat, and fruit for the fairies' food. The fairies that harvest from the trees have the most dangerous job, as the fruit tends to be larger than fairies. Many harvest talents specialize in a certain item. The mining talents are the ones who look for the treasures in the deepest caves of Neverland. They may even come across sparkling jewels. Mining talents are shorter than most fairies because it helps them get in the narrow caves. They also have smaller wings as they don't fly that much. They wear sturdy clothes for their difficult work. Most miners tend to be quiet and grumpy, but they're the reasons fairies can have sparkling gem items in their home. Whether you got the fairy flu or a broken bone, the caring healing talents would have the remedy for you. Some healing talents specialize in potions, while others, the nursing talents, work on scrapes, cuts, and broken bones. Their mixtures can heal fairies with just a bit of magic. Healers sometimes help animals in addition to fairies. Scout talents are not only some of the most bravest fairies, but they're also very passionate about their fellow fairies. They want to make sure innocent fairies do not get hurt. They have stronger eyesight and hearing than most fairies, so they can spot potential dangers. If, say, a hawk takes over Pixie Hollow, they bravely step in to fight the danger. Scouts would even risk their own life for other fairies. They travel to the mainland with the nature fairies to look out for mainland dangers, like humans. The forest fairies patrol the forests of Pixie Hollow. They love trees so much that they see them as actual people. They like to wear clothes made out of leaves, just like the trees. And the leaf fairies comb the trees' leaves and paint them in the fall. The messenger fairies are responsible for personally delivering important messages from the Queen and her ministers. Sometimes they deliver packages from the Pixie post office. Though they aren't fast-flying talents, messengers tend to fly faster than the average fairy. They have a good memory as they need to memorize the message. They also tend to know where fairies tend to hang out so that she can find them and deliver the message. The winter talents are basically all the fairies that live in the winter woods. These fairies could not travel to the warmer seasons without Tink's snowmaker or a snow cloud silly sweet, because warm temperatures can damage their wings as cold temperatures can damage warm fairies' wings. Most winter fairies work to bring winter to the mainland. Winter talents include working with snowflakes, frost, icicles, and glaciers. However, there are some fairies in the winter woods that could also be in the warm seasons, like these include winter animal fairies and sewing talents in the winter woods. Fast flying talent is one of the rarest talents. They're obviously the fastest flyers in Pixie Hollow, and it's a good thing because these fairies are in charge of the wind. They knock leaves off the trees in the fall, and they use their winds to collect pollen in the spring. They can also create refreshing, cool breezes. Because their talent requires so much energy, they tend to eat and sleep more than other fairies. It's difficult to see a fast flyer in the same place for too long. Animal talents have the ability to talk to all animals excluding enemies like hawks. They can tell what an animal needs just by spending time with them. While the animal talent tunnels would be a complete maze to most, the animal talents are born knowing the trail by heart. These fairies love spending time and playing games with their animal friends, in addition to teaching them things like teaching birds how to fly. They're very good at charming animals. While these fairies are very fun, they're sympathetic and very emotional as they need to sympathize with animals. A few animal talents specialize in a specific animal, like the butterfly herders. Garden talents are responsible for the beauty of Pixie Hollow. They grow plants for outfits and just general beauty, and they grow fresh fruits and vegetables and maybe other food for the kitchen talents. Most garden talents don't mind getting dirty because that's what gardening involves, but Rosetta is an ironic exception as she hates being dirty. Garden talents see plants as people to talk to. These fairies have been seen as unathletic because for the longest time they've never won the Pixie Hollow games. They're either eliminated at the first stage or were unable to compete. Luckily, Rosetta and Chloe managed to have the garden talents win first place one year. The water talents obviously possess the ability to control water. This includes putting dewdrops on cobwebs and creating water fountains. Water fairies are important for watering plants too. Though almost all of them, except Ronnie, cannot swim, water fairies still adore being near water. They tend to enjoy water skiing and riding leaf boats. Water talents tend to be very emotional, so they need extra leaf handkerchiefs just in case. And they're also good at communicating with water animals, like fish. Storm talents are quick, and they obviously possess storm magic. Some specialize in lightning, while others focus on thunder. Storm fairies are athletic. In fact, they've won the Pixie Hollow games for 4 years in a row, and they've almost won a 5th. Light talents, aka the talent of yours truly, have a stronger glow than most. They sometimes act as fireflies if they're out with a no-fire flu, but it takes way too much energy, even for light talents. Instead, light talents would usually train the fireflies to light up the night. They also make rainbows with water talents, and they have the ability to bend and move light. On the mainland, they melt snow in the spring. Their powers are stronger during a full moon and weaker during a new moon. Many light fairies aren't fond of darkness, so they like to have a night light with them while they sleep. Astronomy is a common interest for light fairies, and they're the only fairies that can look directly at the sun without damaging their eyes. Light fairies are full of energy, but they eat and sleep more because of the amount of energy their work requires. And the last canon talent I'm going to talk about is the clapping talent. This talent is extremely rare because only one fairy has that talent. Prilla is a clapping talent. She makes people's hands clap. Make your hands clap. Okay, so how exactly does she make your hands clap? Well, Prilla has the unique power to travel to the mainland in just the blink of an eye. Prilla is more fond of humans, or clumsies, than most fairies. This enthusiastic fairy convinces human children to clap. The clap of children that believe can save a fairy that's dying of disbelief. Because she's the only member of her talent, Prilla spends time like in the tea room with other talent guilds so she won't feel alone. And now, this may seem like the end of this video because we're on to one of the rarest canon talents, but here are some very rare, obscure talents that aren't actually canon to the Disney Fairies franchise. First is the fire talent. One thing about these fairies is that they love heat. They love to bathe in boiling water. They can stand heat more than many fairies, as their jobs have to do with creating fire for fireplaces and in some cases cooking, but a lot of the time they just like to play with fire. Fire fairies tend to be moody and they have a bit of a temper. One of the extremely rare talents, some may say that they're even more rare than the fast flying talents, is the mind talent. They tend to have crazy fantasies, so crazy that even a mainland tabloid wouldn't add them because they're so ridiculous. Mind fairies practice performing magic with their mind, like moving things with their mind, or even trying to predict the future, because they have a better psychic ability than most fairies. They don't do much to help with the changing of the seasons, but they love practicing their own magic because these fairies are usually independent for the most part. And finally, we have a talent so rare that some fairies don't believe in them. They are the rock fairies. And you probably know about rock fairies if you watch the scene with Silver Mist and Terrence talking in Tinkerbell and the Lost Treasure. I tried to find a clip of it, but it just won't work, so I don't know about you, but I believe in the rock fairies. They're just very rare. They don't like it when other fairies abuse rocks, like throwing them into the water aggressively, because they treat rocks as pets. Many rock fairies prefer to wear dull clothes and they may seem grumpy. Rock fairies prefer to stay on the ground. In addition to rocks, rock fairies tend to have a huge interest in sediments and minerals. Just watch any of the My Little Pony episodes with Maud Pie in it, and you'll understand what rock fairies are like, because I based the description off of her.
It's a rock. His name is Boulder.
Alright, so that concludes this video. I don't know how to conclude this other than thank you for watching. And I hope you enjoy learning about the talents. And please tell me in the comments what your talent is. I don't care what it is, I just want you to tell me.